is Sport Fishing Championship.
Oh man, a tear is coming to my eye because we are almost done with our 2023 championship of the Sport Fishing Championship. San Juan International Billfish Tournament has yet to be decided. Robbie Floyd, Peter Miller here with you. Peter, there's a little 30 minutes of fishing and it's not decided yet, this final stop.
And they have been duking it out. You know, the top 10 boats account for 60% of the fish caught. There have been 39 fish caught, 50 boats left. And they've only caught 16. So 50 boats caught 16, 10 boats caught 23.
Well, the ones that are doing it well, including Justin Drummond. There's the captain of Team Quantified. Not only are they defending SFC champ, the two-time Gulf champion of the Sport Fishing Championship. And if they take a victory here, they'll do something unprecedented. 4 wins in a season, Peter, but also back-to-back offshore champions of the world.
You know, they've got the Gulf tied up. They've got the overall feeling tied up. They may even have Puerto Rico tied up. They've got some knots to untie when they do this and start all over again next year.
It's crazy that did not qualify. Did he not have one qualified fish on that first stop of the year? Boy, have they been on fire since then.
That got them angry. It got them pissed off. And now they want to just show everybody what they've got. They've got a lot of moxie, as they say.
They've got moxie. Blue marlin, you see the catches as the days progressed. The releases have digressed. It went from 25 blues to 6 and now 6 again on day number 3. So we've had weather come through here. All 3 days have been a little bit different, Peter. I know thunderstorms and such going through on this third and final day, but again, that first day had more blue skies, and I don't know, I guess the fish saw them a little bit better. They took them a little bit better.
Well, they had that storm that was brewing, a tropical depression over the Dominican Republic, taking all that moisture out of the air, bringing it towards them. But then it kind of shifted and went above Puerto Rico and started bringing all that moisture, and it brought it right through it, and it went totally cloudy and rainy, and the bite shut off. The barometric pressure definitely played a factor on day 2.
With the event points on the right of your screen there, we see that there is a tie for the lead. We're in San Juan, the nice shipping channel that brings all the tourists into town, but it's also the exit point for these anglers. They pass by the castle on the right or that fort on the right, and they head out. They don't even have to go 3 to 5 miles, and it's hammer time.
Right, they do that El Moro shootout where they fire the flare in the air, and the fleet of 60 boats in this 70th annual event take off, and sometimes they only run out to about 600 feet of water.
Remember, we caught up earlier today with the team that won last year's event, the 69th running of the IBT. Tito in the Victoria.
Good morning, folks. Here we are on our third and last day of fishing. Hoping that we have a better one today. Yesterday, Mother Nature was not too cooperative with us. We only had 6 blues in the whole tournament versus 26 or 27 the day before. It was very cloudy as well. Hopefully today, sun is out. The moon is in a better situation today, so we are really looking forward to have a much better day today, even better than the first one. Conditions are absolutely great. As a matter of fact, we just had the first hookup right next to us early morning. So good luck, folks, to everyone, and wish you all the best.
He likes seeing that hookup because, again, if there's fish activity going on, it might not be you, it may be Quantified, you know, that's next to you, or another boat, but at least there's some activity.
He's definitely not only an angler, but he's definitely an on-air personality, Robbie. I'm scared for my job. He covers ground. He covers all the information succinctly and perfectly the way he should. It's really nice to see that on the boat, and they're catching some fish.
Well, it started off pretty nice on the third day. You see the landmass out there, Castillo San Felipe del Morro, the Castillo San Cristobal, that kind of guarded the land attacks. Quantified being attacked from every which angle. There's 59 boats that were shooting for them. They knew that they were coming in here on a roll.
You know, it's not easy, you know, to go out there and have the other boats follow you around once you hook up. I mean, here they are at 8:34 a.m. today, and you know, the fish are biting obviously behind their boat, but you got to be able to catch them. You got to be able to drop back and score and hook up and bring those fish to the boat, to the leader, to get those points. But when the other boats see that happening, they're going to run over and fish those waters, because generally you're going to have other marlin cruising with the other marlin. The birds of a feather flock together. We say it a lot. That was a bite there on the left side, about 4 or 5 waves back, and they are hooked up with a blue marlin first thing in the morning. They drew first blood, as they say.
Van's the man. He'd already caught in one prior in this tournament, but this is the one that, you know, that can put them on top, because we'd seen Pio with 3 blue marlin caught already in this tournament. With this catch this morning, it would give Quantified their 4th catch, and they were the first one with 4 blues, and we know that's the tiebreaker.
And at this point, you know, he's got a couple of fish. He's a 3rd place angler right now.
Yeah.
On the Quantified, you know, the 1st place angler in this actual tournament has 3, and that's on Pio. So they're working that fish, they're working it hard. You know, they've got IGFA observers, they've got everybody taking video. We've got our cameraman, Junior, on there. We've got Crystal on that same boat. They're flying drones next to the boat from a chase boat. Everything's happening out here. It's a lot of activity.
I give a shout out to SIS Mora on the Pio, the leading angler. But it could all change still today. There's still time fishing, but you see that beautiful Spencer boat that made the trip. No easy trip either, right? How long did it take them? 6 days?
Even longer. I think they had a little issue here and there. You know, sometimes the marine is closed. You want to refuel to get to your destination, and maybe you got to wait till morning. You got in a little late due to a rainstorm, due to inclement weather. You know, I looked at the weather on their journey and it looked like it was just going to get rougher. And I thought to myself, do you just go for it or do you wait? But it was too long to wait. Yeah. You would have to wait like another week.
I think it was a customs issue. They came in at night and customs already shut down, had to wait till the next day. Not to mention they stopped at Atlantis. Who knows how much money they lost out of all their winnings this year.
You know, this fishing game is a gamble, so it's not far-fetched to think that these guys might be sitting at the craps table.
They've been rolling the dice all year long as well, a little roulette. My money's on them, but also Joe Durham, the boat owner. Props to him for sending them out here to let everybody know what's up with Team Quantified.
Yeah, and you see the style and the form. You know, we talk about it all the time, that these guys have a great ratio, they have great technique, and they get these fish to the boat in a rapid fashion because they use all of their, what would you say? All of their body parts
tools.
to get, yeah, all their parts to get the fish to the boat. You know, you got your quads, your calves, your hamstrings, your glutes, your back, your arms. You're doing everything to get this fish in, and you got to just take cranks every single time.
God gave you those tools. Now you got to use them. It's up to you.
That's right. And use them wisely, young man.
You know, the voting's still happening right now for the All-Star voting for another, what, 5 days? Find your favorite anglers, captains, crew. Maybe you'll get to fish with them in the Dominican Republic here in about a month's time.
It's an exciting event. You know, all you have to do is go to the website, thesportfishingchampionship.com, and you can log in to vote by just putting in your email address, and then you can vote for your favorite anglers and captains, and then you will be entered to win a trip to join the entire crew, all expenses paid, and you get to bring a pal, or maybe your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband.
Look at some of the leaders right now. Atlantic, I know Mateo Scene, lights out. Jordan Sanford, Tucker Carmichael, lights out. We saw Bert Finello on the Gypsy. There's possibility. Jason Berthelot from the Gulf looking good on Rising Suns. Tate Yancey on Miss Ma'am, another front runner. That would be cool.
Young man,
Tate.
yeah.
Golf captains, I think James Stanley on Badonkadonk in the lead. Chase Johnson on Miss Ma'am.
Getting the leader, Robbie, right here on Quantified, right there in the wash. That drone footage, they got their one underwater light on. They're doing the Cyclops approach on the lighting, and that's a nice fish right there.
Yeah, it is.
To start the day.
Yeah, it is. And you know what, the one name is all of the people that I mentioned are not on Team Quantified, who won the Gulf and possibly the Sport Fishing Championship. But this is our top team of the season, no doubt about it. And we have our own roving reporter out there on the water, and Michelle Dalton caught up with them.
We just saw Team Quantified release the first blue marlin of the day, Van Witchers, who is hooked up on that fish, and that fish was digging straight down. So it took him about 45 minutes to catch it. We've been listening to the radio, and we heard about 6 different boats hooked up to fish, and it's not even the first hour of the tournament on day 3 of the International Billfish Tournament. So a lot of fish and action to be had for the rest of the day, so we'll see what's to come.
She ain't wrong. She right.
She is correct, sir.
Yes. Oh, I heard the passing of Barker today, too. I made me think of that. I was like, well, one of the greatest in television passed away, I believe, today. So we've got live cameras out there watching what's happening. I think just moments ago, Team Arabita might have had some action going. What in the wide, wide world is that? Is that a banana?
That is almost looks like a plantain. Mix some plátanos. Look at that. Oh, wow. And he's got a...
Oh, now you got a mess.
See, that's everything.
Yeah. And you know what? People might not know. A lot of people don't like bananas on board. You think that's bullpucky. You say that's...
We actually brought bananas, and we won more tournaments with a bunch of bananas on the boat than we did without. I've actually caught a sailfish on a banana peel. How about that? And I was in the Pacific. In the
skirt?
Right, just on a J-hook and just slapping it on the surface. I was slapping a base.
Maybe that's what they got going here, too. Because I was wondering, I was like, okay, did you run that ballyhoo through the middle and then the banana peel skirt? Might have something going.
If you don't catch a fish and you do something like this, it's like a double negative. So you might actually catch a fish. Exactly. So they're going to negate what's been happening, and they might have a marlin come up and slam that thing. I hope a circle hooks in.
It might happen. Look at the fish catches compared to last year. Look at day 1. Let's just focus on day 1. 19 last year, 26 this year. I thought, man, we are just going to be flying. But something happened between day 1 and day 2. I mean, it's like a light switch.
Well, it's exactly that. It is a barometric pressure change with a tropical storm that became a Hurricane Franklin this afternoon, and that is going to change everything. The dynamic of fishing is it's determined by weather. It's determined by the moon phases, and that's exactly what has occurred here, and it shut the bite down for day 2 specifically.
Well, let's take a look at the catches for day 3. I'm looking at my live time to score. I got 2:14 as possibly being the last one today. We keep looking because there is still time in the day to fish, and it's kind of a drop dead time too, right? I mean, when that clock strikes 4:30, it's lines out of the water. But looking at all our catches, I know what Demencia is actually hooked up right now. Demencia is hooked up, and that was at 4:10. So
yeah, they were in a 65-foot Hatteras. Before this, prior to this, they had a pulled hook. That's all I saw on them. So hopefully they can get that fish to the boat, and it'll be a nice feeling for them to go home after 3 days of fishing and have something to show for it. And then, of course, we've got Donya Lucy sitting right there on the FADs, the fish aggregating devices.
Again, one of our former winners of the Sport Fishing Championship. We put our other roving reporter out there on the water, Katie Sawyer. Let's go to her out in the Caribbean.
We are in day 3 of the IBT, sitting here with first mate Brian Ramos. Brian, Donya Lucy is sitting in 4th place overall for this event. What is it going to take to build yourself up to the leaderboard?
At least a couple more, maybe 3. That would put us up in the top. If we could catch at least 1 or 2 more, we'll be in the leaderboard right now. We'll get there. That's what we're expecting, hoping for.
We only have an hour and a half of fishing time left. The bite has been very slow, but not only for us, but everybody else, which kind of is a good thing. I've seen a lot of rafting sargassum after the storms that blew in a little bit. What kind of hopes and expectations do you have for the next hour?
Like I said, we're hoping to catch a couple. We just marked a couple, and we actually raced one that wouldn't bite, and it's been the first couple marks in the whole day. And we've been seeing more mahis and tunas around since the grass is around, and trying to keep out of the grass, but still on the edge, which is more where it's concentrated. The bait has been concentrating, and apparently there's some more fish around it, so we'll try to stay there.
Now, this tournament has a strict rule in which once you have a fish hooked up, all the other lines have to come in. But a double header would do you really, really good right now. It would put you tied for first place. Tell me, is there an amount of time that you as an angler has to hook a second fish after your first is hooked up?
Yes, we have 1 minute after you call in the hookup to clear everything out of the water. So if we get bit before that first minute after calling it in, it would be a legal catch, a legal hookup. So we gotta be paying attention after we hook the first one for that first minute and try to make the most out of it.
So the game is not over yet. As we know, Billfish swim in schools. A doubleheader is not an unlikely circumstance. We are in the last hours of the 70th annual IBT tournament aboard Donya Lucy, and the fight is still very much on. Good luck. We'll see you in a little bit.
Go for it. We're going for it.
Yeah, they need that double header. And I always thought it was immediately. So I was like, either way, they need multiple fish to give them a shot at this here. But we heard a couple of things out of that report, right? The sporadic vegetation instead of a solid line. And they're trying to stay out of the sporadic stuff, but they are seeing bait.
That's right. This is day one, Donya Lucy at 9 a.m. That's an early bite. We see the angler there waiting to get that bite, lining his bait up with the teaser or wherever that fish may be in that water column, probably in that fourth wave back there, fifth wave. And then they move. You know, they always move back and forth. They jet around. Sometimes they charge in on one and it's a one and done. But this fish just shot over to the right side. You want to keep that tip up in the air, keep that bait sliding on the surface. You want to be sure it doesn't pop out of the water. The fish will give up on it sometimes. So you'll see the fish eat.
Señor Quiñones, you see the other teasers coming out of the water, bringing them to the boat. Watch that magic time, Peter.
There it is, right there, right on the right side of that whitewater, in between the dredge and the center of that whitewater, ate right there in the wave. And he's on. He locked it up pretty quickly. And you see that water coming in the boat. They're backing hard. Everything's in the boat. He's got the harness on. This is about a 6-minute fight. This is a quickie.
This is our third fish caught in the tournament by Donya Lucy. It was their first fish of the tournament. Lala caught the first blue marlin. That gave them an extra 100 bonus points. There was a qualified catch if you do make contact with that leader. And you love a good jump for the cameras.
And that fish just stayed up there with a hang time, just like Michael Jordan. By the way, Michael Jordan just wound up winning about $462,000 on a white marlin in the mid-Atlantic. As we speak, it just happened. Just saw those numbers.
He needs the money. He
gives it to his team. He's a generous fella.
Yeah.
There they are. The fish is on the leader, getting back to Puerto Rico here, and the fish is on the leader. Nice sized fish, perfect drop back. Everything went splendidly.
Yeah. Donya Lucy again. This is that first day. They've already won a tournament in the Sport Fishing Championship. They won last year's last-second charge at the CNSD White Marlin Tournament in Punta Cana.
Baits are already going back out, Robbie. Baits going back out. Rigger's going. Donya Lucy spinning right there. They're doing their thing. You can see how far they just backed down.
They might get some boats or some votes for the All-Star. Looking at that same catch from the outside in from our drone. They would like to go back to Cabeza de Toro, the site of their win last year. Look at that back left, some bow in the rod.
That's Sailfish Town right there, folks. That is a sailfish backing hard on that. Ooh.
Well, water doesn't look quite the same, Peter, today.
Riders on the storm.
That's a great one, man. Only about 12 minutes to go. And again, they just need to be hooked up and call it in. And they don't only need to be hooked up, they need to be hooked up with 2 to make it happen. They said they've seen them, though. That's the first thing.
Dredge is in the rigger. It's out of play, and they've got their red solo cups in play.
Oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good thing.
Okay, good job.
Take the edge off a little bit. He's got two solo cups.
It must be hot fluid because he's trying to keep, the insulated like that. If he didn't have,
or really cold, trying to keep.
If he had a Yeti, they're both doing it. If he just had a Yeti, they would have.
I see condensation on the outside of that cup.
Shut up!
I
was trying to look out for him. I know we're on YouTube and all, but I mean the man's thirsty.
Listen, these are grown men. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. They're over 21. They show their ID to the IGFA.
It's not network though. I was like, we're good. It's YouTube, and they do have an official, and they do have a captain that does not have a double insulated Yeti or a double insulated.
No, the captain will never drink. He will never imbibe while he's out there fishing a tournament or fishing in general.
Now, what about the rhyme or reason as far as some of these fads? And it looks like they're almost in like a clock pattern there from the central location. I wonder what goes into determining where they line those up.
Well, they're definitely going to areas that are known to hold bait and known to hold fish. Oh, see, they're drinking Perrier.
Before they move.
Yeah, no.
That man's...
That reminds me of Caddyshack when he kicks the cap off and he pours a little more and he goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. And there were like 4 empties that he poured into the one. Anyway, I digress.
Well, I'm glad they're drinking Perrier.
Yeah, they're staying hydrated. So they put these fads out in areas that are known to hold bait. This makes even more bait. And these are some high-end fads, and they're establishing a ton of biomass of bait, which bring the marlin in.
So if I get one of those fishing maps that says fish here, I need to do that because that's got nature's little fad underneath it. Either way, Donya Lisi looking for a hookup here in the waning moments of the IBT.
SFC coverage of the San Juan International Billfish Tournament is sponsored by Visit South Padre Island, Total Home Performance, Denison Yachting, and by Salt Life.
Comfort and functionality, we've got you covered. Performance apparel designed by anglers to make your time on the water better than ever. Salt Life, the official apparel sponsor of the Sport Fishing Championship.
Whether you like to ride the wind, find your secret cove, or reel them in. Plot your paradise with GPS Map Series from Garmin.
This summer, take a break with the family and visit the best beach in Texas. You're not building just a sandcastle. You're building memories. South Padre Island is the perfect place for fun in the sun. Book your summer getaway today. Visit SoPadre.com.
When you're serious, you are as excited to wake up for a 4 a.m. fishing trip as you were when you were a kid. It means winning 3 World Sailfish Championships. It means you know what you need and what you don't. Being serious means seeking out the ultimate fishing machine, which is what Peter Miller has found in the unmatched handling, speed, and comfort of an Invincible.
Front yards have long reigned as the showpiece of the house. But just like a good mullet, we all know the party's in the back. Barbecue Guys is committed to helping create amazing backyard experiences with the best grills in the game, outdoor essentials, and free design services for building your ultimate backyard. It's time to bring the front yard's reign to an end.
All right, boys, let's eat.
Stop on by, barbecueguys.com.
Are you ready for the ultimate luxury fishing experience? Join the Sport Fishing Championship talent on the SFC Experience, where you'll explore incredible fisheries and enjoy world-class hospitality from diverse cultures and SFC partner locations. With the SFC Experience, you'll create unforgettable memories with friends, families, or colleagues. Book your trip today and embark on the adventure of a lifetime with the SFC Experience.
SFC coverage of the San Juan International Billfish Tournament is sponsored by BioLite, Mercury Marine, Durabright, and by Hop Water, a non-alcoholic sparkling hopped water.
Peter, I'm going to tell you right now, get the BioLite flowing when these guys head back to shore. They're going to need it for tomorrow because it's going to be a party when they come back. It is really cool, the celebration, the awards celebration that they have for these teams. They've got 5 more minutes of fishing, and the Lions are going to have to come out of the water.
And still, they're doing a live shot, and still with the fingers on the line, you cannot surrender. You can't relent. You got 5 minutes left. It's not over till the fat lady sings. You want to have the microphone in your hand. You want to be able to call it in the last second.
Yeah, absolutely. They're hoping, just praying they get one more blue marlin on here before time is out and put things out of reach. But that is not the case with, again, less than 5 minutes. We're less than 4 minutes here. But look at their season. Their best 3 finishes can't get any better than 3 firsts.
I mean, that is some top-notch fishing. That is consistency. That is quantified.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, looking at it, they fished 11 events. This would be their 12th. If they take a victory here, they will have won half of the events, total events, SFC events that they entered. That's crazy.
20 billfish in that tournament that we're looking at right there. That is a record for billfish catches in any of the SFC events that we've done. And that just shows you that their ratios have to be great. I mean, I'm sure there's fish coming up and there's window shoppers, but for the most part, they're catching everything they see.
It didn't end at the Gulf Coast Masters with that victory. They backed it up with a win ahead of Florida Lee, and it just takes time. Grocery aisle at the ECBC. They did it with sales there. 11 sales. The next best in sales was only 4 by Rebecca.
And that is a jumbo marlin. They do it all well. They do the white marlin, the sailfish, and a big blue marlin, and they couldn't care less which one it is, and they just put the lines right back out there.
Surely that boat would have been a boggin after we went to the Atlantic, and they didn't get to fish with the SFC for a while, but when we came back, the final stop of the Gulf in their home waters, they didn't disappoint.
No, they didn't. There's another nice blue on the leader, taking wraps, just gliding on the surface there. And then you've got your little white marlin going ballistic, just cranking it with the pecs out. We got to love those jumps.
Visit South Padre Island. That's their home waters. And again, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 total billfish. They caught more fish in this tournament than we've seen these past 2 days here at the IBT. But it just shows you how hot the fishing can be, especially if you're on the Quantified.
Cool, calm, and collected.
Here in Puerto Rico, day 1 for Quantified did not start off well for them. They hooked up, but they were running the struggle bus, and then they could not get a fish in 2.5 hours. But their tournament was far from over.
You know, they get that bite. That's what they came here to do. They practice fish, and you put the baits out, and you wind up getting a giant on 30 pound, and that fish was the fish that took them past the 2-hour, 30-minute mark. It was now disqualified. But this fish right here was not. This is a blue marlin hookup at 3 o'clock, and this was their second fish of the day. The first one didn't count, but the second one did.
Jake Graves with the catch here, so this kind of got them in a positive trend, right? And not only that, it's the end of the day. You've talked about that, whether it's the last fish of the day or that first one in the morning. It's kind of like going into the half of a football game. It gives you that momentum.
It's kind of making up with your significant other. When you go to bed in a bad mood and you've had a little fight, you think maybe I should just give them a kiss goodnight and, you know, be the bigger person. That's what exactly happened here. They had a little fight with that one fish, and they were feeling kind of sad, but they're going to sleep happy with this blue marlin under their belt.
You and your wife never fight. No, congratulations to all our fans watching on here. Congratulations on the upcoming baby daughter down the pipeline.
Yes, my wife is pregnant. She's 20 weeks pregnant. We got a little girl, a little bun in the oven. These guys got a fish on the line. We got a bun in the oven, little Maverick. Our boy, 14 months old, he is going to have a little sister.
Future anglers, future professional anglers like these guys?
My son seems to really like leaf blowing and weed whacking at this point. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. He follows me around the yard with that leaf blower.
Hey, there's a lot of money in yard work.
Yeah, he could be a designer of hotel landscapes. Who knows?
Yeah, it could happen.
As long as he's got a leaf blower in his hand.
I like that. But he likes the fish too. I say he was giving them fish kisses at an early age.
Oh yeah, he loves fishing. He's mesmerized by them.
These guys, you know, they started out like that. It didn't just happen as they were adults. You know, they grew into this sport.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had my son out on the boat when he was 2. We were catching sailfish, and I'd say, hey, Niles, come look at this. He's now 25. I said, look at that. We got double header on. Come help me. He's like, nah, I'm good. And he would just sit there playing with his toys. But we were out there doing it, bringing sandwiches, you know. But these guys have been doing it, and they do it so darn well. And that's why they have 4 fish, 1,400 points. This is day 3. This is big time. They came all the way from Texas to Puerto Rico to knock it out of the stadium.
That was their first fish that counted 4 points. It would not be their last. They would catch 3 other ones. Unofficially, we still have Demencia hooked up, but I am not hearing any more reports of others being hooked up as far as the live timing and scoring go. So it could be close, and this is everything that Quantified, and you know they're listening to that radio, waiting for that call in, because every one of these teams is obligated to call in if they're hooked up.
Yeah, there's only a little bit of time left, or is it?
It's done. I mean, it should be
done?
Yeah, we're in that hour right now. So as soon as the horn strikes or whatever, or the GPS, that's what you go off of, right, nowadays?
You go off the GPS. The captain has the mic in hand, ready for the call in. You get a fish on your bait, you are calling it in. Sounds like lines might be out by the fact. Let's see. Got to be real close.
They made a long run from Port A or from the Tift event when we were there just a couple of weeks ago after taking that victory. How far is it? It's a long ways, Peter. And there's no easy way to get there. You've got to work your way around the peninsula of Florida there.
I'm wrong by saying 1,200 miles.
I don't think it's wrong. It's days and days and days. And I mean, when you're talking about having to go to the Turks and Caicos on the way to Puerto Rico, I know you're making some travels.
Oh, yeah, that is a long haul from Texas. From Miami, it's a little different, and that's a long haul from Miami. We did it once, and guess what? We lost a shaft and a prop on the way.
Oh,
that was no picnic, so we had to troll.
Look at this map here. Now, to the left side, that's where we're going to be in a month. There's Puerto Rico on its own little island. And right in between, that's the big run. That's where those fish like to move in between as well. Michelle Dalton, one of our roving reporters, she's been out there throughout the week. I wonder what she's been up to, because, Peter, we don't just give it to you from the studio. We bring it to you live on CBS Sports Network as well as YouTube from On the Water.
High quality H2O.
Not only is it a beautiful day out on the water today, but it's certainly a fishy day. We're hearing multiple reports of fish being caught, billfish and meatfish. Typically, the day 3 of a tournament is the day where these teams kind of tend to change their strategy up. If they're not in the top of the leaderboard for those billfish, they may actually go out for meatfish. So if they're part of the SFC Championship Fish Division, that's still going on. This is the last tournament of the season. So we've heard reports of wahoo being caught. They're seeing mahi out there. So hopefully, if they're part of that Championship Fish Division, then they can get that $50,000 check at the end of the day.
This is true. Everything she said is talking about those money fish. Every one was a money fish, whether it's billfish or not, but we know the big-eye tuna, yellowfin, that had been decided. We won't know the wahoo or the mahi-mahi until all of these boats have returned.
Yeah, something tells me that the wahoo may get trumped. I don't know, Jason. I know you've been hanging on 52.2, and I wish nothing but the best for the Rising Suns team and you, Jason, but I don't know. Something tells me there could be a big wahoo coming in.
For the anglers that fish the SFC or they fish the tournaments that were part of the SFC and did not pay their $250, you missed out, because I mean that is a very minimal investment. Just look at this man, Gus Rance, for example, a $250 bet, which most of these guys
which gives them a $50,000 smile, perhaps.
No, not $50,000 smile. It could give him a $100,000.
Well, we hadn't gotten there yet. I was kind of taking a breath.
Well, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
189.6 pound yellowfin tuna with those beautiful sickle fins out of the Gulf. That is almost impossible to beat off the coast of Puerto Rico.
I mean, Ronnie Moore, who does the shows in here when you can't make it, I mean, even Ronnie Moore would have put $250 up, and he's very frugal.
Well, frugal is good because, you know, you wind up making a lot more money that way. This is a 245-pound big-eye tuna by Gypsy by Jordan Sanford. This is a big-eye tuna that will win the $50,000.
Martinis all around.
Yes, espresso martinis for everyone. I had one of those, and I was crawling down the dock.
Yeah, that was a good one, too. I mean, his guy can make it.
You see me crawling.
Yeah, you were swerving dirty. Actually, we didn't drive on that because we were on Block Island. You have to have drivers, a lot of taxis. All right, Katie Sawyer's live and out there on the water. We saw them or her with Donya Lucy. Again, that's the benefit of having this Starlink technology. Katie, good to see you out there on the water. I guess it's got to be cool that you're out on a team that could possibly take the final SFC event. What's it been like this last hour for them?
Man, these guys all day long, they fished so hard. They stood at their rods all day. They had the rods in their hands all day. They have 4 teasers in the water like we did a lot in Costa Rica, bait and switch style, but they were pulling swim baits in the longs behind all the teasers. I mean, they had a killer spread out there, and these guys, they were having fun the whole day. They were laughing, but they were fishing hard as well, and the dynamic on this boat has just been super, super pleasant, super hardworking, but also just out here having a good time.
You know, Katie, when you talk about swim baits, you know, Robbie's sitting next to me, and he's a bass fisherman, and he knows what a swim bait is. All these freshwater guys know what a swim bait is. But when you talk about swim bait, it's so casual for you. But explain, what exactly is a swim bait?
A swim bait is what you're seeing getting tossed into the water behind me because they're cutting them all off. But it's a ballyhoo with a circle hook in it. And what it does is it goes behind the boat and it's trolling, looking like a swimming bait. And that'll really often entice, especially in the long riggers, either a lazy feeding blue marlin or a smaller fish like a sailfish or a white marlin.
All right, after the fact now that everything's done, what other boats that were in the front runners, who else was around you throughout the day? And also, did you go to other fads that maybe they haven't fished the prior 2 days today to try and change it up a little bit?
You know, the fishing grounds here off of San Juan, Puerto Rico, they're pretty condensed. The entire fleet was fishing the 2 sets of fads all day long. There's not a huge boundary line here. There's a very steep ledge just off the coast, as we've already talked about. And these guys, man, everybody was around us today. We saw Prisa, we saw Lala, we saw Pio, we saw Quantified. They were all around us. They were marking fish. We're just waiting for the fish to bite, and it just didn't happen for us quite today.
Well, what depths were they at today when they're marking? Did you ever get to peek at those graphs?
The marlin right now are marking at about 150 to 250 feet. When you see on a sonar a 250 and then shortly after 150, that's when you know that that fish is coming up. It's enticed. That is a really, really good sign for a captain. That's when the captain's going to say, okay, guys, get ready. It's time to step up. It's time to make these fish count.
And we talk about that, how, you know, these fish can see very, very well. This water is crystal clear, and at 150 feet, 200 feet, I kind of spoke to Robbie about it, saying it's like you looking at your coffee cup from your couch to your kitchen, and that's how they see these baits. It's a good analogy because their eyesight is absolutely incredible, and when they see something skipping across the surface, they start twitching, their lateral lines are shaking, and they're coming up to the surface, and they are generally going to eat.
Yes, the blue marlin definitely, what they're attracted to is the noise. That's why you see a lot of dredge fishing. They're pulling teasers, right, which make more noise. The teasers are lures without hooks in them, and when I say noise, sometimes it's audible and sometimes it's splashing on the water, on the surface. It's not quite as good an eyesight as, say, tuna. Tuna have extremely good eyesight, but blue marlin also, just like you said, Peter, they're visual eaters. That's why they are surface eaters.
Yeah, and it's also, like you talked about, the audible sounds, the acoustics of the props and the engines on some boats will raise those fish to the boat without any baits out there. But hey, thank you very much, Katie. Great job out there, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks a lot, Katie. Don't have too much fun at the party afterwards, like you know Donya Lucy's going to be doing here in just a bit. Again, that was a look back at the lone sailfish caught in this tournament. And Peter, we're talking about fish at depth. Sailfish, the only time I've ever seen a sailfish was on the top trying to wrangle some of those bait fish. But
yeah, sailfish will also sit down a little deeper, but typically you're catching sailfish in 120 feet, sometimes up in the sand, we call it 20, 30 feet deep. You know, you'll actually sight fish for them. Marlin, they will stay a little deeper. They'll get in their comfort zone. They eat big fish. You know, marlin will have tuna. They will have to digest these massive meals, and they'll get down there, digest, come back up and feed. But something will have to elicit that strike. Sometimes it's the hum of the engines. Sometimes it's the dredges. Sometimes it's a skipping bait way back out of the white water. They love to sneak up and nail those things. So it's a little bit of everything.
I know when we talked to a team last year, they said if they saw a fish down at depth, as we'll look at this sailfish from our drone camera, but if you look at some
Man in the light blue shirt.
Yep. Look at some of these marlin at depth. When that fish comes up, and if you make a loop back around and it's gone back down, that fish isn't going to bite. This is a sailfish that did bite.
He bit right there, and he's dropping back, and he's already tight. There it is. That is beautiful. That is a ballyhoo just flying off. It was probably sewn on with wax or wax.
Floss?
It's like floss.
Your floss?
I use my dental floss if I run out. My mint
Your teeth
dental floss.
Teeth are looking good today too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Point that out. Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, it kept the hook in, but they let go of that bait. They should have gave him one. Like, you maybe just toss him a little one to.
I do that in my lake. When I see a bass that has a big head and a small body, I'll take a couple shiners, cram him down his throat, let him swim away. A little free meal. People think I'm crazy, and I might be.
I get a few shiners, run him down his throat. Well, unofficially, the time is done. I know Demencia was hooked up. That is the only report of the last fish being hooked up, and they would not move into that top three. So unofficially, Quantified could be the winner here in San Juan.
In Puerto Rico, we call ourselves Boricua. We're proud, passionate, and full of life. On our island, adventure finds you. Strangers aren't strangers for long. The size of the audience doesn't change the beauty of the music, and we celebrate every last ray of sun. Live Boricua.
Salt Life, the official sunglass partner of the Sport Fishing Championship.
Are you ready for the ultimate luxury fishing experience? Join the Sport Fishing Championship talent on the SFC Experience, where you'll explore incredible fisheries and enjoy world-class hospitality from diverse cultures and SFC partner locations. With the SFC Experience, you'll create unforgettable memories with friends, families, or colleagues. Book your trip today and embark on the adventure of a lifetime with the SFC Experience.
Every day on the water is a blank canvas. You can reach new waters and ride endless waves. So drop the hammer or the anchor and let adventure be your guide. Mercury engines are made for exploring. So are you. Go boldly.
Whether you like to ride the wind, find your secret cove, or reel them in. Plot your paradise with GPS Map Series from Garmin.
When you're serious, you are as excited to wake up for a 4 a.m. fishing trip as you were when you were a kid. It means winning 3 World Sailfish Championships. It means you know what you need and what you don't. Being serious means seeking out the ultimate fishing machine, which is what Peter Miller has found in the unmatched handling, speed, and comfort of an Invincible.
SFC coverage of the San Juan International Billfish Tournament is sponsored by Garmin, Invincible Boats, Barbecue Guys, and by SFC Experience.
And the drone goes brop right through the middle, and every one of these Mercury and Yamaha engines are going brop as they head back to the San Juan International Billfish Tournament. Once you make that left around past the Castillo there, Del Morro, you know that you are almost home, and 60 boats are almost home.
I see a flag flying on that boat off to the right. I do not see a flag there, but I do see triple Mercury engines, and that makes me happy.
I know you do. And a center console as well.
It's a chase boat, I believe.
Might be.
I think Michelle Dalton.
That's some good shot. Oh, you know it is, because that's our drone following him. That's the one that gave us that shot. Team NEC, one of our featured boats that are out there on the water. That, I think it's a 43-foot Cabo. One of the,
yep, a 45-foot Cabo, and they got one blue, and that was Jorge or George, depending on how we want to look at it.
Cam's getting us the shots. Now here's what's going to happen. If it bites this reel, we're going to do this. But now I've only got one. Watch this. Watch the rod tip. Oh! Oh! I
love it. And what you're going to notice here, Robbie, is that you would expect the rod to be doubled over, but on these lure bites, you do not want to have the drag all the way pushed up, because they come in, they bite it, they miss it, it's over. Yeah. So you want to have the drag, you want to be able to push it up gradually as you get in the chair. Right now the fish is running, the reel's screaming, he's preparing to move the rod into the position, into the gimbal.
So with that J hook, are you on the very limit of the drag? Like, I mean, you can almost grab it with your fingers?
No, it's about 3/4 of normal drag you're gonna fight. Okay. You want them to be able to eat it, get hooked up, and stay on and run fast, because what they're gonna do is go flying away from you, and you're still in gear, so you can't have full drag, you'll just rip a hole in their mouth. Jorge Ramirez, the angler, he's in the chair. He is ready for battle. He has directed traffic in that cockpit, as a captain would do. He seems to be the captain of the cockpit. And again, I can't tell if that is a cutting board or if that is a Starlink. It looks very similar. That's the most beautiful cutting board I've ever seen. I think it's a cutting board. It is a cutting board.
It is.
Two knife holders and a plier holder there.
See the drains, I think, in there as well?
Beauty.
You know where's the beauty?
Right on the end of his line.
Right.
Jorge has got a blue marlin on it in that blue water.
This makes me happy that they caught it. It makes me sad that I don't have that opportunity to catch it.
Oh, Robbie, well, that makes me sad that you feel sad. I'm gonna put my arm around you here off camera, and we're gonna take you down to the DR, and we're gonna catch you a marlin.
NEC in the big picture, we're seeing Justin Drummond in the Quantified in the picture-in-picture there, and unofficially, and they're waiting for the official word. Unofficially, they've done something extremely special here. But as we look at NEC trying to get this fish in, a little bit of difficulty there. The straps need to be snugged up just a little bit. His arms aren't quite that long.
You got to put on your Snuggie when you're fighting those fish. You definitely want everything paired up properly so you can use everything that you need to catch that fish. You want to be able to squat that fish and slide back and wind down, but they're right there. You know, that fish is close. It's on the leader already by that dive platform.
I like our GoPro guy that was on the right. He was showing him how to do it, and then now he's let go of the GoPro, and he's like, now here's how you make contact with a leader.
That's perfect. And everybody's playing their part in the back of this cockpit.
That's cool.
Right there under the boat. He's waiting for him to come out. I think he was attached there for a minute.
Yeah, he was. He had some
kind of an attachment to the.
Let loose.
Yeah. It looked like he was getting ready to jump in the water. That's why he was straddling the gunnel.
Yeah, he might have saw his lure still sitting there, and it hadn't dropped down yet. But no, it's still on the line.
Sometimes they have a dive ladder that attaches to that dive platform, and it could have been just caught just in a little opening there. That's my prediction.
You know, and a perfect reason not to have a dive platform on the back of your fishing boat.
Yeah, you know, in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, you will see that. You will see dive platforms. Venezuela, used to see them a lot because people like to not only fish, but go scuba diving and go to the sandbar, and it's an easy way to get in the boat. You can't get in that boat otherwise.
Spear fishing, too, as well.
Yes, exactly.
I have that extended ladder thing, but I don't know that I have a full deck back behind.
Yeah.
I do that drop over.
I've got 2 ladders on my Invincible that just pop out with a button.
Right.
And it comes down about 5 feet, and you climb right into the boat. You look like a champ. But there is the fearless leader of the Quantified, Justin Tex Drummond, cleaning up because he knows the cameras are on him, looking sharp.
Okay, I'm live right now.
Passing the Fortaleza, the governor's mansion. Hello, governor.
Yeah, you're cool there for a little bit.
Yeah, he's rocking it out. And we talked about in the CBS show how it's cleanup time on your way back. That's exactly what they're doing right now.
That's the IGFA judge right there going down. I've actually had him on our boat before. Very nice guy. You know, they're well trained. These guys are trained and observing, and they know all the rules. They know exactly what's going on, and that's very important. We've got Nana coming in.
Legend was a boat that I went on before. I think they're in 21st place, Hatteras.
They could have used you.
Yeah, I need them today. Charles Foreman, Benedetto, Hinkley, Ingram, Snipe, and Strauss.
Gaviola and Teaser. You see all the boats coming in, the parade of boats. It's quite a spectacle seeing all these boats coming back to the same arena. Everyone's tying up, and they can commiserate with each other as how the bite kind of shut off for a couple days, but boy, was it hot on day one.
Well, we had almost everybody caught at least one billfish. I mean, it was 60 total. I think 27 caught fish.
I do have some breaking news. I do see Demencia, Jose Cancela released a blue marlin at 440.
No way.
That was officially the last fish of the tournament.
No
440, well, yeah.
You know what that means? There'll be no way, Jose.
No way, Jose. Or no way, Jorge. There he is, Tex, the quarterback, the captain, probably answering texts like, hey, congratulations, and he's probably copying and pasting, you know, like general answers.
Yeah,
thank you.
Couple fish at the end with the Mencia. We had Bimba also in the last couple of hours. So they were out there. They just weren't biting very well yesterday or today. We will see these teams again. I mean, these guys travel really well. I mean, maybe it's Walker's Cay if we head to there, if it's Dominican Republic, back here into San Juan. We haven't even talked about that. You know, we mentioned it at the start of the year, a possibility of a Caribbean division next year. We're going to see these teams once again.
And this is the last event of the year. This is the finale. This is the big one. This is where we crown the overall champion. You know, he's won the Gulf Division, Tex. We know Polarizer has won the Atlantic Division. But to come in here with 3 firsts and then win this tournament, do we have an official win yet, Robbie? Are we talking wins yet?
They haven't told us, so we haven't.
We got to wait. We got to wait on this.
We've got Crystal.
Officially, unofficial.
You know who's going to let
Robbie?
us know? You know who's going to let us know?
Crystal.
Cristal. Yeah.
Cristal.
Cristal.
Okay.
She'll let us know. She's
See,
out there.
there he's drinking a Coca-Cola and a regular cup.
We saw it water just a second ago.
Yep, he's got to hydrate. He stays, at least he stays undercover there. And another thing I'd like to mention for next season, which is going to be a very exciting season, this is just an aside, I would encourage anybody that's involved in the SFC or anybody that wants to get involved in the SFC, please do so, number one. Number two, if you're not involved in the SFC, at the docks, give us some of your footage, and we'd love to feature you guys on our show. Where you see where Justin's standing right there, that could be you and your team with your Instagram handle on live TV, and we will feature your fish, and we'd love to have it. Shoot it horizontal, shoot it vertical. We'll take whatever you got. You can airdrop it to us. You could put it in a Dropbox. We got to get it from you. We'd love to show you guys off.
Don't even give them that vertical option. Do it horizontal. You can change it that way. But yeah, you're exactly right. And WhatsApp comes through really good and clear. We saw some Dominican teams do that, and we gave it to you literally right up. Grace, that was one of them. Remember that? I mean, they gave good stuff. Another thing we haven't talked about, SFC Studios are going to be making a move, I think, as well.
We're going to be broadcasting out of a Pompano Beach, Florida studio, Salt Life owned premises that has a restaurant, coffee shop, and clothing store right on the water next to the Pompano Pier, and we're going to have our studio inside of that building looking out at the water. So Robbie and I are going to get a chance not only to do a little fishing at that pier. Let me tell you something, that pier fishing is unbelievable. I know you don't believe me.
No, I believe you.
It is good. Listen, they want to go to Structure. We'll go out there and catch a little lunch, come back, fry it in at the Salt Life shop, do another segment.
And the fans can actually be a part of it because they can watch how everything goes down and see what we deal with on a basis. And we've been told that we are going to go to some events. It breaks my heart we weren't here because it is a very cool event. If you're fortunate enough to be invited, because you have to be invited to this event, if you're fortunate enough, you better take them up on it. We saw more Lamborghinis in the parking lot at this tournament than all of the other ones combined.
Yeah, it's definitely one for the books. You know, 8 different countries are representing. We've talked about it before. You know, obviously the DR, Puerto Rico, U.S., Ecuador, Italy, Turkey, Venezuela, and Guatemala are all represented. We even have a boat builder from Turkey called Vichum.
Yeah, that gentleman came all the way from Turkey. I mean, boat builders in Turkey, or he may be just a dealer actually in that continent. Well, we're going to find out. I think they're going to have to get the official word from the dock. So they're going to, you see it out there in the distance. You see that pavilion, that white building off to the left. That's where they're making it back to. I know the Caribe Hilton, we saw, that's where we were last year. Off to the right, see that T-Mobile area? We saw it just a second ago. The pink area to the right, there's hopefully going to be concerts and everything else going on there this year. There's where they're heading back to. That's a pretty nice facility.
That's looking pretty good. It's looking good.
Yeah, looking good, really good.
So good right now. It's really good to be flying a blue marlin flag behind Texas Head. You know, that is the fish that propelled them to, I want to say, an unofficial victory, but we don't know yet officially.
I see an American flag, and I know Puerto Rico, they look at themselves as their own independent country, but I mean, looking good there with a U.S. flag. A lot of pride among these anglers, and you're going to see, and from what we've been hearing, a lot of respect for Justin Drummond and Team Quantified. I mean, this is the outsider that came in and competed last year and then took the title this year.
And a lot of people, I'm sure, in Puerto Rico said, you know what, it could be a fluke.
Yeah.
It could be, he's pretty lucky. He's got a golden, what do they call it, a horseshoe, you know, kind of stuff. You know how they say, but this is what the winners are coming for. This is customized champagne.
Shake 'em.
Sport Fishing Championship. They look nice and chilly.
We got Callie down there. We got Courtney. Who's doing the champagne salute? Don't shake those things though, because they'll let off a little too early. Even though you don't have to push that cork out.
You know, under those labels,
yeah,
those are $200 bottles of champagne. $200 each.
Even if they were $5, I would tell you they're $200.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I don't know how much it costs. I'm just saying it's probably not a cheap champagne because the SFC goes all out for their anglers. They go all out to air all of this information, all of this footage, all of this incredible marlin fishing all over the world on CBS Sports. They're doing it all.
That boat was a little further away. Yeah, they say it's unofficial, but this looks pretty official to me. They're already putting the name on there. There's another $1 million check. Not once now, but twice, Peter. You've won millions of dollars fishing. I have not. I've handed out $1 million checks before, and I'm going to get to see it again.
Look at this. We're missing out on this. Well, let me be the first to congratulate Quantified for winning again the second year in a row. The SFC Billfish champions. Woo!
You let the cat out of the bag.
I didn't let anything out of the bag. I think a check written out to their name, that bag has already been let out.
That should be. And it says one champion. You know, we go to championship towns, the championship experience, the championship competition. There's the boat I was on last year, the Legend. I thought that was your nickname back in high school.
This is where legends were made. You know the song.
This is where legends are made.
We sing too much, Robbie. I think they're going to cut us off. They're going to get the hook. But you see the boat stacking up out there. That looks like Tex coming in there. I don't know.
He's a little deeper. Not that one.
I'm not sure.
That doesn't have the blue bottom.
That is not him. He doesn't have a bow rail.
No, the bottom right is Quantified, but that's not him.
Yeah. They're coming down the pipe.
There's the area across there with that pink and stuff, and that's like the T-Mobile. It's like an entertainment district, a mall. I know they're talking about possibly in the future having like live concerts, celebrations, fan experiences. There's a lot changing here. And Peter, we haven't even talked about where we came. Last year, people didn't think this could happen. We're showing you how to get live fish catches on the water as it's happening. For not one, not two, but 12 events this season.
And you know, it's a learning curve for anyone that wants to take on this challenge. But our CEO, you know, we call him the commish, Mark Neifeld, he came in and he dreamt this up during COVID, and he said, I want to do a championship fishing competition, live broadcast on TV, butted right up to golf, butted right up to soccer, all the big events. And that's exactly what he did. He brought it to fruition. He took it from just a dream sitting on his sofa watching golf, and he said, I'm going to make this happen. He's not a big bill fisherman, but he loves the sport, and he knows that this sport is a $142 billion industry annually.
And things are changing too. We may see a Final Four type event when it comes to the championship in future years, like they have in college basketball. I mean, as college football fires up, what a great way to crown our champion and then find out who's winning the, you know, the college football championship here in a few months' time. So again, it's flowing well. Mark did a great job. Everybody at Sport Fishing Championship. We'd like to thank all of our ground crew that's there on site. We don't thank them enough. All the Preach crew, from our live cameramen out there on the water, for all of our guys and girls at JM Associates at the home studios getting the stuff. It takes an army to do this live.
It sure does, yeah. JM Associates in Little Rock, they've got everything. Your people would think, you know, oh, how hard could it be to make a TV show? Well, you walk into the studio and you see 20 people doing graphics and music and putting together packages and plans and production, and then you have lighting equipment, you have cameramen, you name it, the list goes on and on and on, and they're getting this footage pumped in. There's people doing everything. You hear keyboards going and people are editing. It is absolutely chaotic at times, but that makes it very exciting, especially when you have $1 million on the line. And not only that, these guys win tournaments on the side of the $1 million. So they're winning money on both sides of it, having a great time, and to bring it to you guys live is very, very special. And we're so excited to be able to do this. And that looks like another beautiful boat coming down the pipe.
Yeah, they're just clicking them off one after the other. There's 117 wet slips for these boats, and still you don't see Quantified. They'll be in that blue bottom Spencer. But all the technical challenges that we had throughout this year. Had a rainstorm even in the White Marlin Open. Frog strangled our set. We had to move locations, and these guys got it done week in and week out when a lot of people would have said, nope, not going to happen.
You know, there's people that can do things and there are people that can't. And you know, I find myself looking at some of these firefighters and paramedics that I know in Miami. That's a guy I want near me when there's a problem that's going down. These guys can fix and do anything. They're like MacGyvers. And this is exactly what the SFC crew did when we were in Ocean City and the rain tapped us out. We didn't know if we could even broadcast. We ran to a hotel. We had a Starlink set up 8 stories down with a cord connected with the door open. And you and I were sitting on the edge of a bed broadcasting. Perfect. Nobody would ever believe it, but you and I were sitting there doing it on these little folding chairs, and
we
made it happen.
They were taking care of the job out there on the water. We were doing our job.
You and I were just talking, and they were doing all the work. That was some great work, and that was Michael Douglas and Milo's crew out there, and of course we had JM pumping it through.
That's true. Milo and his entire crew always on side. There's our Justin bobblehead. Like to thank the SFC. Did you get one in the mail? I got one in the mail.
I did get one in the mail.
Thank you, Mark, everybody, or Courtney, and
we got our fatheads.
Michelle's down there. We got
all the SFC crews down there welcoming the boats coming in and letting them know who's getting that check.
There's Quantified, the second boat in the picture.
Here they come. Looks like they're making a little turn. And you see them shammying the boat.
Was there a special moment for you this year as far as them winning the championship? What do you think that one moment for them, what do you think it was? Because, you know, starting off with the blank, not how they wanted to do it, but was there ever a point this year you're going, oh man, they might do this?
Well, I do recall a special moment, and I've had it myself, and I think that's why it stuck with me. There's too many. You know, you're putting me on the spot. There's too many to recant, to be honest. But there was one fish, and it wasn't a big blue marlin. It wasn't a big white marlin. It was a sailfish, and it was the fish that they fought. They didn't know what it was. It got to the back of the boat. They leadered it, not knowing what it was still. Nobody's even really thinking about it. And it pops up, and it's a sailfish, and they got him on the leader, and they got him on camera, and they all started jumping up and down. That, to me, was a very special fish because it meant a lot to them to get that fish, and it was like a surprise. That was a surprise fish. One of the very few that they didn't see the whole season.
Yeah, after blanking in Louisiana and then coming back, and I can't remember which one they had to postpone and move around, but knowing that they had 2 wins and a second place, when they got that second place behind All In at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Billfish Classic, I go, okay, they're back on track again. Now they just need to do what they did last year. So that 1 second place after bombing at the first round, I thought that was a shot. That's a very close look at Quantified, and they got the squeegee. Kyler's doing his best work on there, I believe.
A little squeegee mop there, cleaning all that. Look, who else is cleaning over there? They got their blades to get the water off. They want to get that boat nice and clean, and they're about to get it dirty, I think. You know, they're going to be riding dirty shortly.
Do you make Van and Jake, do you make them wash as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody washes. On my boat, everyone steps off my boat, and I'm down there cleaning the unmentionables.
You mentioned that before. When somebody gets off that's fun fishing with you and they don't pick up the scrub brush, that's not kosher.
Yeah, they always offer, and I always say, you know what, I got it. But sometimes I'm so tired, I'm like, please help me. These kids were on the boat the other day. They said, what can we do, boss? And I said, can you clean the engines? There's some chum on all 4 engines. Can you get those for me?
Sounds like another Starbright ad, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was actually Starbright. I got everything from Starbright. They make the best chemicals, and they're biologically friendly, and they're very eco-friendly.
Here it comes. Hey,
oh my God!
We got the time. We might as well.
Let me tell you,
it's not a conflicting.
Their products, boy, their boat wash, their deck wash.
Now you're going.
Oh my God, their rust remover. I can't get enough of that stuff.
That spot remover or whatever.
It's a spot remover, and then they have the mildew and stain remover.
Yeah.
You spray that on a cushion, it'll take the mildew off before bleach will take it off. And it's safe. Okay, that's all I have to say.
You're so good.
Well, I'm just stating the truth, and I only partner with partners that are actually making good products. I'm with the
hey,
good
we
guys.
haven't talked about this. They're backing up here. Chris Jones still hasn't signed with the Chiefs yet, or has he? That's your buddy. You got any insider information? We got a lot of people that want to know.
He wants to be with them. They want him to be with them. It's just a question of a little dough. But here comes Quantified.
From one champion to another.
That's right. From one Super Bowl champ to he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ, and these are 2-time overall SFC champion boat backing up right now. This is a Chris Jones of sport fishing right here. Coming
like
on
you
in.
said, this is how legends are made. Quantified. It has Port Aransas, Texas on the back of their boat. They're backing up to San Juan, Puerto Rico for the 2nd time. Now, not only are they SFC champions, they are 2-time SFC offshore champions.
Congratulations, Quantified. That's incredible work. Consistency is what did it. And here they are. They're going to be just having a fantastic time celebrating tonight. I can just tell. Something about pumping $1 million check, just something about it, Robbie, just makes you feel good.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
I can feel it in my shoes. I can feel it in my toes.
And they do it also with that flag of waving, too, because if they wouldn't have had that one fish today, they would not be the champions. Pio would be.
That's right. That's the one that took him. That's the one that took him to the dance.
That'll be the question to ask as well, too, when they had that possibility coming into a tie and losing that tiebreaker in this final day. They knew they needed one fish. Everybody knew they needed at least one billfish of some sort.
Katie Sawyer, day 3 of
in 35 feet of water?
No,
it's fun.
No, it is not.
You lean back, you lean with it.
Back.
Yeah, like Fat Joe, you got to lean back.
No, I need the shorter, quicker fights. I'm not very sound in the back heel region.
Oh, that's because of all of your semi-pro motocross.
Yeah, the racing. It did actually.
Well, they got their boat cleaned up beautifully. They have their reels organized perfectly. You always want everything lined up by color, by size. And there, that flag right there, that laundry depicts a win to me. That is that official winning fish. However, they were already winners in my book, but now they won the entire tournament in Puerto Rico, along with the SFC championship and $1 million.
Look at that fuse panel. Holy smoke.
Oh yeah, you got to shut it all down, then you got to plug in the generator. You got, you know, shore power. You got to plug in the shore power, turn off your generator. You don't have to hear it or smell it or get the bubbles popping, and you're good for the night.
No special peppers from Samantha's. Now you can talk about bubbles.
Yeah, we had a wonderful dinner last night. We had some grouper over, what was it, grits?
Yeah.
Scallops on top. I mean, this is the only time I really indulge, you know. Thank you to Mike McInnes for a lovely dinner. And we got a chance to hang out with Mark Zona yesterday. And Ronnie Moore.
No, Ronnie didn't get asked. Ronnie will tell you that too. He's like, how come you never asked me?
Well, just in general, I was talking about being on the Bassmaster set.
I'll take Ronnie out. I'll take him to dinner. I'll take him on. I had dinner with Katie one time. Still haven't done it with Crystal or Michelle yet.
So much action right here. I don't know where to look. There's sneakers, there's champagne, there's $1 million checks. Woo. It's happening. Somebody better get their goggles ready.
There's another thing. Don't set that down too hard. You know what he do.
There's Mark, everybody. That is Mark Neifeld.
Neifeld.
Every time I say it, you correct me. I can't say it right.
That's the boss man. He, the commissioner, the commish.
Richard Christensen Jr. is next to him. He's in charge of this tournament, but Neifeld is in charge of the SFC. He is the CEO and commissioner. This is his brainchild. He brought it to fruition. We've got Courtney there. We've got Callie.
Richard,
of course, we've got our captain there.
Richard, we saw his great-grandfather actually fish this tournament back in the day, probably 70 years ago, 69, 70 years ago. So the lineage, not just parents, grandparents, but great-grandparents, a part of this fishing tournament.
We even got Steve Yankar from Preach Productions. That's his company.
There you go.
That camera right there. That's a nice shot. That is clean. That is mean and clean. We got the crew. We got our crew. Matt Klausterman's even back there. We see him. He's helped us immensely doing a lot of legwork at these tournaments.
Mitch is so big, he can't get his head on camera. That's the one in the
I don't even
back.
see Mitch.
Hey, that's the one right there with that champion thing, holding it right above.
Oh, man.
What a celebratory moment for the Sport Fishing Championship offshore champion. Quantified, $1 million richer, the Zangray Trophy in their hands once again. Quantified, your Sport Fishing champion.
Trying to listen in.
Bring it up. All right, now, if you've got your goggles, it's time to throw them on. Let's pop that champagne, get ready.
Oh, Bombshell's not going to miss a champagne,
No, she can't get the top off. Can't get the top off. A celebration on the Sport Fishing Championship. Justin's kind of ran out of gas a little bit.
Some people are really good at shooting champagne and other people are not. I'm one of those people. But I tell you what, some people are even better at drinking it.
And Michelle went straight to it with Callie. It's all about the celebration. Our season is done, Peter. It's official now. Quantified, they have won half of the events they have entered in the past 2 years. 6 wins in 12 total events, including the 70th, the Platinum edition of the IBT.
And also 2 Gulf Series, so an extra 100,000 there, extra 100,000 there. They've won $2.2 million.
That's more than I may make the rest of my lifetime. Quantified, 1,400 points. That's going to do it. They tied with Peel, but we can't tie for the win. Whoever caught that last fish first will be our winner, and that is Quantified. We'll be back in a bit. The San Juan International Billfish Tournament goes to Quantified.